Hello my dear viewers, welcome back to Ruhoni Sewing. Welcome to the last part of our series of drafting pattern and sewing for children. We are going to sew an airline dress, and this time we are going to add a Peterpan collar. We are going to look at the adjustment that we need to do to our pattern before we continue with our tutorial. Let us start. As usual, here are the materials. We have the patterns, back and front. We have the scissors, ruler, pencil, tape measure. We have our fabric, and we have the tracing paper to trace our collar. So first, let us adjust our patterns. The back pattern needs no adjustment, but our front pattern do. We need to adjust the shoulder here. We need to reduce this part here, and we have a bit of a neckline adjustment here at the neck. So to start, measure half a centimeter from the part where the shoulder and the neckline meet, going down half a centimeter. Then connect these 2 points with a ruler as shown. And so that is the part that we're going to get rid of. And now let us come to the neckline with your curved ruler. Adjust a bit the curve of the front neckline. And make sure it is starting from the same point at the neck. So here we are. So trim the shoulder as well as the neckline. So let me show you the design of the collar. Again, I'm trying to draw. This is our dress, and this is our collar, the Peterpan collar. Okay, here it is. So in order to make this collar, we need to join this shoulder, the back and the front, to make a complete neckline. So here we need to turn one of the pattern, okay, so that you can make your complete neckline. Okay, you either turn the back or the front. If you do not turn it, there's no way for you to make such a complete neckline. Okay, so we have turned the back, as you can see, but we need to make sure that the neckline are touching and the shoulder are going to overlap by 2 centimeters. Okay, so first let us measure where they are going to overlap. On the shoulder side of the back, measure from the shoulder 1 centimeter on the part of the Amscye going down. Measure 1 centimeter and put a mark. That's where we are going to overlap. Okay, so now make sure the overlap ends at that point, and at the neckline it does not overlap. There is no overlap here. Okay, no overlap. Take your tape and secure them like that. Okay, and make sure that it ends at that point there. Okay, now take a tape again and secure that pattern. Yes, so we have decided that our collar is going to be 4 centimeters wide. So measure all around the neckline 4 centimeters from the neckline. Now take your curved ruler, but make sure the center back is straight, and the rest of the collar try using your curved ruler to draw the collar. Here at the center front we'll have a space there. Okay, so make a curve here just like that. Make sure it is not touching the center front line. Okay, you can use a ruler or freely by hand. So try until you get the perfect curve. Okay, after that, now start to trace your collar using your tracing paper as shown here. If you don't have a tracing paper, do not worry, use carbon paper like this one. Put it under your pattern paper and then trace your collar. After tracing the collar, we are going to add the allowance of 1 centimeter all around the collar. So here is our collar, the center front, the shoulder and the center back. Remember to add 1 inch at the center back as we did with our back bodies. So now the next step, we are going to cut the fabric. However, I've realized that this fabric is too small, so I had to reduce the length of our dress. Okay, so we are also going to reduce the same allowance at the neck, at the shoulder, at the side seam, as well as at the bottom of our dress. So we are only going to add 1 centimeter on the neckline, shoulder, Amscye, and at the side seam we will add 0.5 inches. After that, we are going to cut the fabric, the pieces, both for the front and the back. Let us now finish with our collar. Here are the patterns, the front, the back, and the collar. And now let us take care of the lining. So here we are. We have the lining, both for the front as well as for the back. First thing first, let us take care of the collar, because when attaching the fabric to the lining, the collar must be attached in between. So when attaching fabric to the lining, make sure right sides are facing each other. This is the wrong side, and for the other part of the collar, that is the wrong side, and those are the right side facing each other. So first attach with the pin the lining and the fabric. This is the side where we are going to attach with the neck, okay, on that neck, all right. And so we are going to sew all the way up to here. So sew all the way up to here. Next step, we are going to make small cuts all around our collar so as to flatten the seam. So after cutting, also try to iron. This will also further flatten the seam. To make our seam lay flat, let us trim the edges. Then after trimming, turn the collar inside out and iron your collar. So here are the collars, they are ready. Let us continue. So moving on to the next step, take out the pattern, and now we are going to join the collar, the shoulder, for the back and front fabric first. Okay, the collar, the shoulder, just like this. And then after that we will also join the lining. So first, as usual, I like to pin the pieces together before I start sewing. So you can see our shoulders are ready. Our next step now is to attach the collar. Remember, that is the shoulder line, okay, and that is the center of our neckline. So we are going to start on one end from the center, okay. Remember, at the shoulder, align the line from the collar to that shoulder and then up to the end, okay. So before you start sewing, attach with pins, making sure you align the shoulder points well, okay. After this part, do the same, okay, for the other side too. So before attaching the lining to the collar, hand stitch it to the main fabric. So now take the lining and attach it to the main fabric, making sure that shoulder to shoulder align well, the center back as well as the center front. And remember, the allowance on the neckline, we had 1 centimeter. After that, make small cuttings around the neckline. After that, iron the seam. The first step, to try to make the seam flat. Then turn your dress inside out, as I show you here. Now turn that part like that on that part of the lining and make a stitch on top of that, very close to the first stitch. So as you can see, that is a stitch already sewn, and as you can see, our collar is flat now, okay. That is a part of our Amscye, the other side of the Amscye which is done. Let us finish with the other side. Just to show you, first you need to turn your dress and fold the part, the other side of your dress, fold it, okay, so that you have a very thin material at the center. So that's how I'm folding. Then after that, separate the fabric and the lining, okay, and turn the lining, as you can see from here. Turn it. Make sure the folded part of the material is at the center, and now make sure that you are attaching the lining to the fabric while the folded part is at the center between the two fabrics. Here the right side of the lining is facing the right side of the fabric, okay. And now that is where your shoulder is. Make sure they align well. Start from here, attach a pin, and continue with the rest. Okay, so now make sure to make small cuts around the Amscye. After that, take out now the material inside, the one which we had folded, okay. Just pull and take it out. So after turning it inside out, make sure you iron the seam. And now let us move on to our center back. Remember, we have a hook here at the top. So we have decided our opening is going to be 4 inches long. So now you are going to turn your fabric like this, making sure the right sides are facing each other. This is our center back. And we are going to sew now up to where we put the mark. Okay, now before turning inside out, we must cut the fabric at the corner as well as the fabric near the corner, so that we can turn and the fabric will lay flat well. Just like this. So here we are for our top of our center back. Now let us finish the bottom of our center back. Okay, so now turn your fabric right side facing each other and making sure they are separate, the fabric and the lining. Attach these 2 pieces and you are going to sew them there, and you will do the same for the lining. So here we are, now turn. That's how it looks from inside, and this is outside. So that is a side seam which has already been sewn, as you can see. It is from outside, and from inside, that's how it looks. Okay, so let me show you how it is done. So first you make sure you take the 2 side seams and align them together, while taking the lining pieces by itself and the fabric pieces separately. Okay, make sure the armpit, they align well. Then from the armpit, attach with pins on either side, the side of the fabric as well as the other side of the lining. So we have sewn all the way, and now turn it inside out. Okay, so from outside it looks like this, and from inside, from the side of the lining, that's how it looks. We are already there. Let us now finish by hemming our dress. We are going to have a very narrow hem. Remember, we have already reduced the length of this dress. We will hem the lining and the dress separately. Our lining is shorter than the dress. This is the right side of the lining, so we are going to hem it like this, okay, so that at the end we have a clean surface. So here we are. You see how it looks, and that is inside of the lining. So here is our dress ready. We still need to put a hook here. Thank you very much for watching.